Hello, namaste. Can't see the clock. It is 4:30 straight up. Welcome. There is a lot of energy in this room today, isn't there? Woo! Yes. I love that. So welcome, namaste. I'm so happy to have you here with us today. Be it in person or online, welcome. We are who we are because of who you are. If you are new to Namaste, welcome. If you are not new, I am so happy to have you back with us. But Namaste is a radically welcoming community. We believe that all paths lead to awakening. We are here collectively revealing that love. That love is the nature of who we are. Nothing need be done to earn it. It is the truth of who we already are. So welcome. I'm really glad to share the day with you today. So, to begin, who we are, I'm going to ask you to please join with me in reading who we are. I honor the place in you in which the entire universe dwells. I honor the place in you which is love, truth, light, and peace. When you are in that place in you, and I am in that place in me, we recognize that we are one. Namaste. Okay, Des, you're up.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you and welcome. Awesome. I invited my friend Bowen Shin to accompany me today in Kong's absence. All I have in these hands and multiply, God, all that I am, find my heart on the altar again. Set me on fire, set me on fire. Take all I have in these hands and multiply, God, all that I am. Here I am with my heart on the altar again. Set me on fire, set us on fire. Here I am, God, arms wide open, pouring out my life, which is gracefully broken. Gracefully broken. But here I am, God, with my arms wide open. Multiply me, pouring out my life, gracefully broken. So take all I have in these hands and multiply, God, all that I am. Find my heart on the altar again. Set me on fire, set me on fire. So take all I have in my hands and multiply, God, all that I am. Here I am, arms wide open, God, arms wide open. Here I am, God, arms wide open. How many of you have a graceful surrender? Pouring out my life, gracefully broken. Here we are, here I am, God, with my arms wide open, pouring out my life, gracefully broken. I surrender, I surrender, so I surrender. Oh, I surrender. Sing with me. Say, I surrender. I surrender. I surrender. I surrender. I surrender. I surrender.
Thank you, Des. Before I invite Jesse Keeler, our practitioner, to come up, I wanted to speak on behalf of Rev Bobby, the Board of Trustees, and the practitioners. This past week has been framed in the sadness of multiple shootings, Buffalo, New York, Uvalde, Texas, and just this morning, Taft, Oklahoma. We hold the families of these victims in our prayers. Our hearts go out to them. It's reasonable and important to be disturbed when troubling and tragic events like this happen. If you are in need of support, if you need prayer, please see a practitioner after service in the back of the sanctuary, or place a prayer in our prayer box in the vestibule. I also invite you to join us weekday mornings on our prayer call for continued support, and also our bi-monthly grief support group that meets twice a month. As a community, we seek to suggest a greater solution that requires more than prayer. Prayer is only the beginning. Prayer changes and opens us to be a part of the change needed. If you're interested in being part of a greater solution, please join us Monday, June 6th at the Creativity and Diversity Committee as we vision and look within to what is ours to do. Namaste.
Good afternoon, namaste, and good afternoon to our streamers. I'd like to invite up now Candace and Chuck and Valerie with the candle to light our way. The sacred flame will always be lit and lead us. And if you'd like to join me in the affirmation and read it along with me. The love of the all good is through me and as me. That love is how I meet all I come in contact. Love radiates as all and flows as all. That love is perfect. Know that right here and right now that the divine creative spirit, this thing we call life, this thing we know as God, is right here right now present with us, all around us, flowing through us, as we come together in community that is Namaste. Today is a sacred day, as are all days. And we're very blessed to have Reverend Bobby with us in spirit, to have the beautiful music led by Dez and by Bowen, to have Casey making sure that the sound is reaching out to all, and of course, our beautiful Aisha Mason sharing the word with us today. I know that it is all perfect. And today, with the world needing to be uplifted, that we come together in spirit. Together we can help to uplift the world, to ease the suffering and the pain that others might be feeling right now. Know that you are not alone, that you are in community, and that we are one, and that we are Namaste. And all that unfolds in divine and perfect right order. And we are blessed, and so it is. And I'd like to invite up Sean Mahia, from our Board of Trustees.
Welcome, everybody. My name is Sean Mejia, and I'm the Vice President on the Board of Trustees here at Namaste. Welcome. At this time, I'd like to invite everybody to stand up and to move about the room and give everybody a hug and say hello. And as we begin to find our way back to our seats, I'd like to invite everybody to find their way back to their seats. Thank you, everyone. And at this time, I'd like to invite everybody to join me in reading our mission statements. What's up? All right, in our mission statement, please follow with me. I learn practical science of mind tools and practice in a loving, connective, and vibrant community to reveal my power and to change my life. Thank you. And at this time, I'm going to describe the cycle and ways that change our life. We awaken to the new truth in our lives. We realize how that truth has played out in our lives. We take our new knowledge and transform our lives. We repeat this process in our lives in different ways. Our power statements: we are a place of connective healing and unity. We are Namaste, this stuff works. And at this time, I'd like to invite Valerie Day to talk about our Wednesday Digging Deeper.
Hi, everybody. If you have not experienced our Wednesday night service, I invite you to do that this week. We have an amazing guest, and some of you might remember her. She came and spoke, and I remember 2 weeks ago, Julie and I were, maybe it was 2-3 weeks ago, Julie and I were sitting in the back, and literally when she was done, we both looked at each other like, oh my God, she's done already. Like, she just engaged us so much, and she's just this amazing wise soul. It's Terry Daniel, and so this week we're going to talk about bereavement and bad theology, a toxic cocktail. And with all we have going on in this world, I'm sure each one of us has some level of bereavement that's happening. So come, get fed, get nourished, and come to our Wednesday night service this week. Thanks.
Hi, namaste. So, welcome team. I gave you a clipboard with a sign-up sheet. If you could please grab that and pass it around, because guess what, everybody? It is time for me to teach another class. Yay! So, this class, how many of you have struggled with saying prayer for yourself? How many of you have struggled, like, even what to say or what prayer should look like, or even how they get answered? So, if you have wondered or have some mixed up ideas from old growing up religious ideas about what it should look like, or you just want to have a deeper conversation with the God of your knowingness, sign up for this class. It's a 4-week class. It's going to be held on Tuesdays from 6:30 to 8:30, 4 weeks. And let's spend some time together looking at how we can utilize prayer to create the life of our desire. What do you want in life? Because it begins with the spiritual practice of prayer, and it does not have to be scary, but it does get to be deep and look at where things lie in our life. And so we're going to get to have great conversation and great connection and a great practice that will come out of it. So join me. Thanks, everyone.
And I'm back. So this next one, please join Reverend Bobby and the Diversity and Creative Committee to listen, discern, and discuss what is next for Namaste. The link on the website is on the website and in the newsletter. It's going to be June 6th at 6 o'clock. So please sign up. A class on a spiritual practice of prayer. Oh, Nikki already did that one. She didn't skip ahead. And now I'm going to talk about, in light of the changes and mandate concerning wearing masks, the Board of Trustees has made a decision and agreed that it is time to make masks optional. We began the practice Sunday, May 8th. We recommend that all those that are immune compromised or have underlying conditions continue to wear masks to further protect themselves. We also provide color-coded stickers for you to wear to let people know how close you would like them to stand or if you're open to hugs. Red, please maintain social distancing. Yellow, you can approach, but please no hugging. Green, I'm comfortable with standing close and hugging. If you have any symptoms of the flu or cold, please continue to enjoy the service virtually and follow CDC guidelines for quarantine and isolation. Daily spiritual practice. Jumpstart your weekday morning. Join practitioners every weekday morning at 7 a.m. for prayer, support, and connection. You can call in or join on Zoom. Information is on the website and in the newsletter. The Safe Place, an ongoing hour-long grief support group every second Wednesday at 7 p.m. and every fourth Monday at 10 a.m. We have created the Safe Place to support grief from our live events, changes they bring and to find comfort in the community. Register on Eventbrite, look in our newsletter, website, and Facebook for all the links. And a thank you. Our gratitude goes out this week to Reverend John DePalma for his talk with Reverend Bobby. At this time, I'd like to say thank you. At this time, I'd like to say thank you for joining us, and it's back to you.
We do encourage you all to drink this next selection in without the need for any applause. This is our serious section, if you will, right? So we're going to inhale together. In the silence there is joy. In the silence there is peace. In the silence there's unspoken joy. In the silence there's release from a world full of chaos and noise. So I pray for this precious moments when I hear all that could never be said, and right here in this lonely silence I find God and I find myself. So I wait for these precious moments when I hear all that could never be said, and right here in this lonely silence I find God. I find God when I find myself.
Thank you, Daz. That was amazing. Thank you. Such a beautiful voice. This is Memorial Day weekend, as many of you know, because you get an extra day off of work, possibly. You might be going to a picnic or a parade. You know, Memorial Day, again, as you may know, it was originally created to honor and celebrate the memory of those individuals, the men and women who serve our country, who have died in wars, defending our nation, defending our values and our beliefs. So if you could bear with me for a moment, I'd like to read for you the major military operations since World War II in memory of those individuals that have served. The Korean War, the Bay of Pigs invasion from the Cuban Missile Crisis, the Vietnam War, Operation Power Pack in the Dominican Republic, Operation Odyssey Dawn in Lebanon, Operation Urgent Fury in Grenada, Operation Just Cause in Panama, Operation Desert Storm, the Persian Gulf War in Kuwait and Iraq, Operation Gothic Serpent in Somalia, Operation Uphold Democracy in Haiti, Operation Deliberate Force in Bosnia, Operation Joint Enterprise in Kosovo, Operation Enduring Freedom and Operation Freedom Sentinel in Afghanistan, Operation Iraqi Freedom, Operation New Dawn in Iraq, Operation Odyssey Dawn in Libya, Operation Inherent Resolve, our war with the Islamic State in Syria. It's quite a list. I don't know about you, but I think it's time for a new operation, maybe something like Operation Livable Planet or Operation Great Peace. I'll let those of you that do the marketing, maybe you can come up with a name, but it's time for a change. And I've often thought that the greatest way that we can honor those that serve our country, that put their lives on the line for us, is by being the best that we can be, that by creating peace where we're at, by finding ways that we can serve, because there's so many ways to serve outside of picking up a gun. And by no means do I diminish that calling, but saying that it's up to those of us who want peace in the world to stand up and do what we can from where we're at. In July 1955, Ernest Holmes wrote an unpublished work called The World Peace is Not an Illusion. World peace is not an illusion. So let me read an excerpt from that for you. So we want peace on earth? Then let us pray for peace in our own hearts. Let us affirm peace in our minds. Let us live as though peace were the mandate of God, because it is. Together, let us affirm it, and let us encourage others to, no matter what the opposition appears to be, for it is a fundamental reality of God. Blessed are they that have not seen and yet have believed. Let us face the future without fear, but let us also face it intelligently as men and women who are not afraid of anything. There is nothing in the universe to be afraid of. Some things could be avoided. Let us realize if the world is healed of war and brought into peace, it won't have been because guns were bigger and better or more of them. We need them until it does heal itself. But that will come to pass only because somewhere along the line, the balance of the scales of eternal truth shall fall on the sides of peace. Let us, you and me, pray for peace, and let us make our hearts fit to accept it when it comes. Let us make our intellect and our soul and our will and our feeling ready to receive it and embrace it even before it comes. Let us, in the stillness of our own soul, go back to that ineffable presence, which is peace, and proclaim it even in the midst of confusion. That peace which is the power at the heart of God. And so it is. Amen. In 1943 is, we're right in World War II. Ernest Holmes wrote a book called This Thing Called Life. A little bit later, This Thing Called Life would become a radio program on the Armed Forces Network. It was the only religious program on the Armed Forces Network. The interesting thing about This Thing Called Life is Ernest had donated thousands of these books to servicemen. And he tells a story of once after the war, a serviceman came up to him after one of his talks and he said, "You know, we only had one copy of your book, But we took the pages of that book and we took it and we put each page of that book on the wall of our barracks so everybody could read the book. So if you'd like to join me right now in just a meditation on peace, just settle in. As one of my teachers likes to say, untangle yourself. Open up your chest so you can breathe in deeply. If you want to soften your gaze or close your eyes, please feel free to do that. I just want you to take in a deep breath and then just let it out easy. And as you take in another deep breath, I want you to call to mind someone that you've made peace with. Maybe someone that you had great differences with and you never thought you'd come to peace with. But you're at peace with them now. Just bring them to mind so that you can bring that sense of peace to your heart, to your being, as you breathe. And as you're inhaling and you're exhaling, as you're feeling the rhythm of your heart, this is a meditation from Ernest Holmes. The peace of God is at the center of my being. I am conscious in this peace. I enter into this peace. I am surrounded by this peace. This peace moves out from me in all directions. It calms the troubled waters of my experience. It heals everything it contacts. There is nothing but peace. I rejoice in this peace. I permit this peace to enter my soul, to fill me with calm, to inspire me with confidence. I know that this peace goes before me and makes perfect, plain, and straight my way. And as you feel this peace, know that it is always with you. And as you bring your attention back to the sanctuary, back to the room you're in, back to this time and space and your community, know that that peace is always with you. And that you can share it out into the greater world, into everyone that needs it right now, with all that love that you are. Thank you, namaste. Blessings.
I was born by the river in a little tent. Oh, just like that river, I've been running ever since. And it's been a long, long time coming, but I know change gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. It's been too hard to live it, but I'm afraid to die, 'cause I don't know what's up there beyond the sky. It's been a long time coming, but I know change gonna come. Oh, yes it will. I go to the movie and I go downtown. Somebody kept telling me, don't hang around. It's been a long time coming, but I know change gon' come. I know it, yes it will. Then I go to my brother and I say, brother, help me please. But he winds up knocking me back down to my knees. Oh, there's been times that I thought I couldn't last for too long. But now I think I'm able to carry on. But it's been a long time coming, and I know change has gotta come. It's gotta come. Oh, change gonna come. Change's gonna come. Change is gonna come.
Wow. Woo! Woo! Yes. Thank you, Des. Well, if that doesn't get the house moving, I know our guest speaker will jump on that train that we just got to hear and ride that energy, because we are gifted today with Aisha Mason. She is a practitioner at Agape for the past 35 years, right? So there is a deep consciousness that is going to be speaking through Aisha today, and she does a lot of work with the nonviolent community and inclusivity. So I'm just going to let her speak her words and get off the stage so that we can hear what Aisha Mason has to share with us today. So give it up. Thank you. Welcome. If you want, there is a mic here if you want to stand, but you're better lighting here.
That's a big sigh. I want to thank you for welcoming me to this community. I know speakers may say this often, but I genuinely have had the experience while I've sat here that, oh, I know this community. I'm part of this community. You're speaking my language. Not only that, I'm going to be incredible. Reverend Bobby said, be authentic. I'm going to be very authentic. I've had a mini meltdown while I sat here. Des, I can't see where you are, but I want to thank you for your music. Since the shooting in Buffalo, I've been kind of numb. And I'm aware, I'm aware that I have been numb, like that my reaction has been unnormal, unnatural. And I went to Buffalo last weekend, and still I was aware that I wasn't completely connected to the experience around me, and I knew that was to take care of my heart. And then events happened in Texas, and whew, that was a lot. You talk about the ebb and flow of life. That was a big ebb. But when I heard that first song, whatever had frozen in my heart melted. And I could feel myself come back to myself. It's like, oh, yes, yeah, yes, I am connected to myself and back fully anchored in spirit in myself. So I already owe a lot of gratitude to you and sort of know on selfish level why I am here. I was asked to talk about how we navigate the ebb and flow of life with some equanimity. And we've had a lot to navigate. We have a lot to navigate. I just completed, well, this Thursday completes the practitioner training at Agape. And these students, after 30 weeks and their final exam, will graduate. In this last class, I was really struck by the noble struggle that these students have been in, who simply are a microcosm of our own noble struggle, which is to live in attunement with God, in attunement with good, with love, to be a channel for divine love on this planet, to fulfill our own divine identity. Beautiful. And some students were having a baby, losing a job, getting a new job, going out of the country for work, taking care of an elderly family member, taking care of sick family members, people who had gotten challenging diagnosis. So we are part of the macrocosm, the field of energy that is part of this nation and the world, and we are also in our own personal curriculum of growth and unfoldment in spirit. It's not an easy task. It's not for the faint-hearted. And I think that's one reason that this teaching that we call New Thought, it's not for everybody, because it's a very courageous path of responsibility, cultivating our capacity to respond to life from the highest place within ourselves. This ebb and flow of life, it's the in-breath and the out-breath of the universe, of the cosmos, of creation. It's the in-breath and out-breath of our own being. It's the cycles of life that we live in. It's inescapable. So I don't need to talk a lot about the flow, because that's the easy part. You just flow on the current from good to greater good. But that ebb, that can be a piece of work. That can be a piece of work. And I am sharing from a place I was thinking of my own imperfection, standing here in my own imperfection, when over the past several years it has been work, it has been struggle to continue to be the kind of person I wanted to be, to live by the principles that I believe in, that I believe in, to live in accord with the principles I believe in and the vision I hold. Because there is that powerful pull of duality. And this is not a practice for the faint-hearted. So I want to share a dream that I had now quite a few years ago, but it stays with me, and it has helped me. It has resourced me many, many, many times since then. And in this dream, I'm in a little tiny boat, not even a boat, like a little skiff, and it doesn't have any oars. And I'm on this river, and the river is like a river with rapids that's headed toward a waterfall. It's going very fast. And I reach out of the skiff, and I'm reaching for for the land, for any reeds, any grasses, a tree branch. I'm reaching for my friends. I'm turned backward, trying to get to my house. And there comes that moment where I realize you're not going to you're not going to be able to jump out of this boat, and you're not going to be able to reach what I know, the home I know, the friends I know, the life I know. So in the dream, I turn face forward. And I realize I can surrender, as in give up. I can just go where this boat takes me. I can fight the current as best I can and try to get to shore. And then I think, or I can try to go with the flow of the boat. So I'm not giving up, but I'm trusting the current and trying to align with it, even though I don't know where it's heading. And in that moment in the dream, everything becomes crystal clear. The sound of the birds, the flowers on the trees, the sound of the water, the light, everything is very clear. It's having an experience of the present moment. And I look ahead and I see that I can't see the drop, where this is going. But this peace settles on me. This peace settles on me. And I'm not afraid. And then I wake up. It was an amazing dream. And as an aside, I had wanted to leave my job, and I didn't. I wrestled with it so much. And there were many, I cared about my staff. I didn't want to leave them. I cared about the work, but I was also afraid. And when I had that dream and woke up, I thought, you can leave. You don't have to know how it will work out. You can leave. And 2 weeks later, my boss says, they're offering early retirement. And the next day, I retired. But I know I had to have that inner alignment to say, I trust Spirit. So as we try to navigate the ebb and we try to navigate these tumultuous rapids that we're in now, this dream revealed to me some of the basics of the spiritual practice. It's human nature to want to hold on to what's familiar, what we know, who we know, the way it's been. That's human nature to grasp for that. But if we are to make peace with life itself, which has an in-breath and an out-breath, which has this irresistible urge to evolve, to grow, to blossom. At some point, we have to let go and turn face forward to be present with what is. Not to give up, but to accept that this is what is present in the moment and to use our power of choice, God's gift to us, to be able to choose, to determine how we will respond to life as it is presenting itself now. To give up, to fight, to flow as best we can with the current, to, in a sense, co-create with life itself. Not in control, but with trust and with participation. And to have faith that where that current is leading is from God, to God, in God. And sometimes that's more than a notion. Right now, that can be calling forward a deep practice. A deep practice. And yet our spiritual practice is our personal salvation, and it is the gift that we can offer to those that we love and to this nation and to this world. The work in consciousness that was already manifested in this service through the music, through the reading, through the meditation on peace, through Reverend Bobby's message, through every element of this service. I was aware I was in a field of spiritual power that everyone here was participating in. Everyone was participating in this call to loving. And with this faith that loving is the supreme power, the one and only power, the transforming power. Such a gift. And you and I are able to rise in those moments because we have a spiritual practice. A spiritual practice is like a daily physical workout. You don't get up one day, if you are wise, never having worked out, and decide you're going to run the LA Marathon. You train for it. Little by little, incrementally, over time, building capacity. And that is what our spiritual practice gives to us. This daily, incremental, little by little workout to develop the capacity to meet life as it presents itself and to be of service to others. Our spiritual practice is investing in a spiritual bank account so that you can draw on it when you need it. When you are brought to your knees, you can draw on that bank account. You have a reserve that will hold you until you can get back up on your feet. Your practice is your safe space. It's your refuge. It is your refuge from the turmoil that can be in the world, in your immediate environment, that can be in your own mind. Your practice is developing these skill sets, this automatic response that will sustain you in times such as this. Every practitioner student has had that moment of excitement when they come in and they say, this was happening in my dream, and I was praying in my sleep. And that's when you know it started to become part of who you are, because in the dream time, you are praying. And something in you now is anchored in truth at a deeper level. That's what we're going for in our practice. And your practice builds your faith. It builds your capacity, it builds your faith. And your faith is also built by your knowledge of spiritual principle, the law, that which never, ever changes no matter what we're looking at. The awareness that there is a spiritual reality that is constant, unfailing, omnipresent, and its nature is love. The awareness that there is a love intelligence that governs this universe, an intelligence whose nature is love. There is no otherness, therefore its only will can be to love, to will the good for you and for me. To know that nothing is separate from this love, from this divine substance, this divine intelligence, this presence that we call God. And therefore, no matter what the manifestation, there is that kernel, that seed of light, of wholeness, of love that is present, that can be nourished, that can, I think of how you blow on a little piece of kindling and fan that flame of light and truth. To know that that is always possible is what builds faith and conviction and courage and the capacity to love at times such as this. When I was in, well, it's not one visit. Several times recently, I have been in that place where I've thought, I don't know the answer. You know, someone looks at me like, well, what do we do? I don't know the answer. But, and this is the power of our teaching, I know there is an answer. And I don't have to know the answer. I just have to know with every fiber of my being that there is an answer. And hold that space for the answer to reveal itself, for God's divine activity and intelligence to come forward. And all that is required is someone hold the space open. Quakers say the way opens. Someone has to hold it open. That's you and me. Because we know there is an answer, because God is all-knowing and God is all good, and therefore the answer must lead from good to greater good. What simplicity and what power. So there have been times recently when I have had to go back to this, I don't know the answer, but there is an answer, and I hold the space for that answer. Use me. Use me. And we don't have to go anywhere. We don't have to go anywhere. And we can be any age, with any degree of ability, any race, any size, any gender, and we can hold the way open. There have been times recently when I don't know that I have the human capacity to what is it I want to say? Oh, thank you for that. To be a loving presence. Like, oh, I don't feel like loving everybody involved in this. What happened was terrible, it was violent, and I'm not feeling the love. But because I have practiced, and because I have practiced for a long time, I know that I can go to a place, I can tune into a frequency of consciousness that just is. It just is. And it's just love. It's the love that holds the planet together so that we don't spin off in our human craziness. It's a frequency of love. I can't describe it better than that because it's not even feeling a lot of love. It's just attuning to this frequency. And I was in a workshop the other day and heard somebody else say the same thing in a different language. She said, I just went to compassion, but it wasn't like a warm, fuzzy compassion. It was a higher level of compassion. So when we practice, we have the capacity to transcend our own human biases and preferences and imperfection and tune into the absolute healing power, transcendent power of love. So the last thing I want to say is that there is power in community. There's power that is multiplied, amplified, exponentially in community. Not just power that we send out into the universe, but power to support ourselves. We hold each other up. So I want to close with a prayer. And the prayer is called Faith. And I wrote it when I was wobbling. We are reaching toward each other through violence all around us, past loud, angry voices, past history and fear. We are reaching past roles assigned to us, past hopelessness, despair, Past trauma and suspicion, we struggle to connect. Hard to believe we'll make it, but what choice do we have? Imagining our children's future, do we shrink back in fear? We are reaching to bridge the chasm, reaching to understand, praying to forgive them, praying to forgive ourselves, reaching for shared community, shared humanity. Reach, touch a spark of light, recognize ourselves in one another. One life contains us all. We are reaching for love, reaching to love, reaching because we are love. Reach out. Don't let go. Thank you. Thank you.
I've been happy lately, thinking about the good things to come. And I believe it could be something good has begun. Oh, I've been smiling lately, dreaming about the world as one. And I believe it could be someday it's gonna be come. 'Cause I'm on the edge of darkness, there rides a peace train. Oh, peace train, take this country, come take me home again. I've been smiling lately, thinking about the good things to come. And I believe it could be something good has begun. Oh, peace train sounding louder, glide on the peace train. Come on now, peace train. Yes, peace train, holy roll. Everyone, let's jump on the peace train. Come on now, peace train. Everyone jump on. Come on, peace train. Get your backs together. Go bring your good friends. 'Cause it's getting closer, and soon it will be with you. Now come and join the living. It's not so far from you, and it's getting nearer. Soon it will be all true. Oh, peace train sounding louder, glide on the peace train. Come on now, peace train, peace train, yeah. Now I've been crying lately, thinking about the world as it is. Why we must go die? Why can't we live in bliss? 'Cause out on the edge of darkness, there rides a peace train. Oh, peace train, take this country, come take me home again. Oh, peace train, the sound is louder, glide on the peace train. Come on, peace train. Yes, it's the peace train, yeah. Come on now, peace train. Oh, peace train. Come on now, peace train. Come on now, peace train. Sing with me. Come on now, peace train. Oh, peace train. 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 Peace trains are coming, y'all. Peace trains are coming, y'all. Peace trains are coming. Peace trains are coming. Peace train is you and me. peace train is what we will be. Get on the peace train. Get on the peace train.
Thank you, Des, and thank you, Bowen. That's awesome. We are now at the time in our service where we get to practice the law of giving and receiving. This is, yes. We get to practice the law of giving and receiving. So there's a basket back in the middle of the sanctuary for those of you that are here. I want to acknowledge those people that auto tithe, or if you're online, you're welcome to give online through PayPal or Venmo. And this is just our time to, practice where we're grateful, where we receive spiritual nourishment. So, I grew up in a faith where it was required to give 10%, and I had a little charge around that. And as I grew in science of mind, I realized that it was just an opportunity to really give where I was spiritually fed. So I invite you today, if you've been spiritually fed, to please show that through your giving. And if you have any kind of charge around the invitation to tithe, please come, visit with one of us practitioners. We'd love to talk to you about it. I want to support you in really expanding your consciousness around that law of circulation and giving and receiving. And so with that, let us speak our affirmation over our offering. We're going to together, the abundance of all good surrounds me and operates through me. I accept in faith God's plenty as mine and of namaste. I accept it with gratitude and joy, and using it with wisdom as the inlet and outlet to all that God is. I affirm this as true, and so it is. And now is our time for giving great thanks. First of all, Aisha, just couldn't have been. It's just a demonstration of divine timing and trusting. This is the fifth Sunday, and the practitioners put on our fifth Sunday, and we were called to have a guest speaker. And that was a divine call to have you here on this day where we needed your message so much. So thank you for being here for us. And I thank Nikki, who was our host extraordinaire, and Des and Bowen, and Matt on sound, and Jesse, who did our beautiful reading and meditation, our Sharon meditation, and Candace, and Chuck, minister support, and Tangi and Tori, our setup team, and Bobby, who's not here with us, but who did our beautiful slides, and Sean, who was our board of trustee on duty, and we had an amazing welcome team today. We had Julie and Janine and Lori and Carrie. And also, just speaking a word of thanks for all of our veterans. And so with that, let us say our closing prayer. Let's see, where is our closing prayer here? Ready? We are life. Something wonderful is happening through me right now. It is this thing called life. Life is in my mind. Life is in my body. Life is all that I am. Life is all that we are. I accept it. I am it. I share it with all, just the way it appears and just the way it appears not. Thank you, life. And take it away, Des and Bowen. Sing us home.
Walls come tumbling down. I choose joy. I choose joy. When the world stops spinning around, I choose joy. I choose joy. Well, when my heart is hard to view, when my music's lost its groove, when I have too much to prove, that I choose joy. I choose joy. Well, when the hate is all that I see, I choose joy. I choose joy. When the fear won't let me be, then I choose joy. Oh, when betrayal and the lies hide the light from my eyes, I look up to the sky. I choose joy. I choose joy. Well, joy, 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 joy. I choose joy. One more time. Joy, 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 joy. Choose joy. Yes.
Thank you, everyone, for coming, and we will see you next week. Don't forget to sign up for the prayer class.
When the walls come tumbling down, I choose joy. I choose joy. When the world stops